please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
CNBC TV18 Weekender, only on CNBC TV18.
Hi there, it's a very, very special episode of The Weekender on CNBC TV18. Now, usually when you think about travel, you think about exotic destinations, you think about flights, you think about the mode of travel. But the least thought about and the most important thing is your luggage. VIP Industries. We have the CEO, the newly appointed CEO, Sudip Ghose. Thanks a lot, sir, for joining in, and congratulations, just 2-3 months into the job?
Yes.
So you must be a pretty happy man, right? The stock is at a record high. Last year, your company posted record profits. Airline traffic is growing. Over the last few months, it's shown substantial growth. You must be a happy man.
Well, it's a double-edged sword because you're happy because you're performing well. And when you're performing well, the pressure is to perform better.
In the last quarter, we saw very good performance across the board. And it wasn't just VIP industries, it was the whole sector which grew. Do you think this growth is likely to stay and this is something structural in nature?
I don't see any reason why the growth for this industry will come down. The markets are responding favorably to us. The other thing that has happened is the overall mindset change of consumers towards luggage. Luggage, till very recently, was purchased as a commodity. That has changed. Consumers have started spending money on luggage.
Absolutely.
When you go out, when you travel, you take care of your destination, like you said when you began the program. You take care of your hotel. If you don't take care of your luggage, and if that breaks or if that gives in, then the entire planning of yours will go for a toss. Your holiday will go for a toss. So therefore, it's your home outside your home.
So let's talk about VIP itself, your experience at VIP. Earlier you were working at Samsonite and you were pretty instrumental in getting the American Tourister brands as well as Lavi into India. What was the change in terms of culture, what you learnt at Samsonite, what did you bring to VIP, and how did that transition come?
Very different organizations. See, any multinational for that matter, it has its positives and negatives. Positives being it's a big brand,
right.
You get to work with a multinational brand. But I have always felt, and I've worked with multinationals before, like Whirlpool or Bosch and Lomb. The problem is you're restricted. There's always a big daddy sitting somewhere telling you what to do.
You know, when you speak about Big Daddy, it is ironical because you come from an MNC to a family-owned enterprise. Out there as well, there is literally a Big Daddy. So how does a professional work in a family-owned setup? In VIP, for instance?
I'm lucky that in VIP Industries, I think it's most professionally run. The family doesn't interfere in the day-to-day operations. We report into the board. A multinational can behave like a family business if the MD is not right. Similarly, a family-run business can behave like a multinational or a professionally run organization if the family wants to run it like that.
At what point does your authority end, or the family's authority come in? Where do these lines lie? Because this is a very grey area and people usually worry about all these things.
That's the problem. The problem is if you start worrying, then the problem starts.
Okay.
It's more like a joint team effort. I do report into Radhika Piramal.
Right.
That's it. I report into all the strategic things that she needs to know. Operationally, what she doesn't need to know, I do it myself.
Okay.
So if you start worrying about where is my line and where is the other line, that's where the problem starts. I think it's a team effort. I don't think it is so compartmentalized that this is something that I will do and this is something that the family will do. As long as the team knows what they are doing, it's good to do. So that's how it works.
All right, fine. So let's talk about the statement that you issued when you were elevated to become the CEO of the company. You said that you'll work with renewed focus and dedication to improve earnings and take VIP to the next level. What does one mean when one says the next level? What is the next level for you?
VIP as an organization has been very, very stable in the mid segment of the market. So any range from 3,000 to 6,000, we've been very, very strong. We have almost 70 to 75% market share in that. But the price points above 6,000 and price points below 3,000 is something that we are not been strong. Below 3,000 has always been the unorganized players, and above 6,000 has always been Samsonite. So this year and a couple of years from now, we would like to get that segment into our fold. That would help us to be a complete dominant player in all segments of luggage in this country. And that is what I meant to take this organization to the next level.
So basically, when Mr. Piramal earlier spoke with us after the fourth quarter numbers, he said VIP is like the Maruti of the luggage industry. Your aim is to make VIP not only the Maruti, the Nano and the Mercedes of the luggage industry.
Absolutely.
Well.
Absolutely.
All right, fair point. So let's put numbers to that. You did revenues of close to around 1,400 crores in the last fiscal. 18-19% CAGR over the next 3 years would take it to 2,000 crores by 2020. Is that a possibility?
Yes. That's definitely a possibility, and something that I think could be achieved.
A net profit CAGR of 30-32%, and he sees no reason why this won't continue into the next 4 or 5 years. If that happens, your net profit from 128-129 crores goes up all the way up to 500 crores in the next 5 years. Is that an achievable target, or is that an aspirational target, or is that unrealistic?
As I said, if the sales go up, the profits go up. That's just as simple formula as that. So there is, we can definitely achieve the percentages that our chairman said. The whole segment that we are targeting, which is above 6,000, is a segment that we have never operated. We have launched something called the Carlton Edge, wherein we have started selling products which starts at 12,000 and ends at 25,000. Those are high volume, high value products for us. The moment we do start doing volume in that, immediately the EBITDA starts looking better for us. And I think it is absolutely achievable, and I don't see any reason why we should not.
All right, so you've given us two numbers. By 2020, your aspirational revenue target is 2,000 crore. And over the next 5 years, your net profit target is 500 crores. We'll take a short break, come back, we continue our conversation with Sudip Ghose of VIP Industries.
CNBC TV18 Weekender, only on CNBC TV18.
Welcome back in conversation with Sudip Ghose of VIP Industries. Mr. Ghose, so let's drill it down to individual brands. You spoke about Carlton being an expensive offering that the company has. I believe it does about 8-10% of your total revenues. In the next 3 years, where would you like that brand to be?
I can tell you one thing, as an organization, we want the segments, like I spoke, which is above 6,000, to become very, very strong. And we would like to at least triple the revenue that we get from Carlton in our fold. It's a product that we are very confident. We took about 2.5 years to get the proposition right, and we have launched a product now which we are very proud of, and we say
it's being received well.
It's been received very well. We are actually run out of stocks.
All right, triple your revenues from Carlton in the next 3 years.
Yes, definitely.
Let's talk about the sub 6,000 aristocrats and alphas. That would account for what, 8 to 10% of your revenues, and that would triple as well? Again,
as I said, I'm not going to give you numbers, but
more than that, less than that?
That has a far bigger potential to grow.
Okay.
I think currently that the growth of those brands are in excess of 40%. That's big for us. The bases are big, and the kind of plans that we have, we think that is going to be the next big thing happening to our organization. We just need to ensure that we keep the costs down,
The higher end will definitely triple in the next 3 years. The lower end growing very fast. So if it's growing at say 40%, it will obviously triple much earlier than that. So in that case, what happens to your margins?
Actually, the margins are on pressure a little bit because when the dollar is getting stronger and the rupee getting weaker. As I said, the only advantage that we have is now people have started paying money for the products.
Okay.
So price increases will happen, but the advantage is people do not cringe to pay money for a good luggage, and therefore we will protect our margin through price increases and through finding ways of manufacturing products where the costs will be under control.
So 8% is the price hike that you roughly took all of last year across tranches. Is that kind of quantum expected in this year as well?
Yes, could be between 5 to 8%. That's something that we definitely plan to take, and could be a little more also, because depending upon how the dollar behaves.
All right. So in that case, where does competition come in? Because at the lower end you have Safari, which is relentlessly competing in that segment. At the higher end, you said there are the Samsonites of the world. Will you be able to take the 5 to 8% hike as well as hold on to your market share?
I've never felt the competitive pressure when it comes to price hike. Our distribution is very, very strong. Our brands are very strong. I think Samsonite is number one in everywhere else in the world except for India. We control almost 60-65% market share.
But aren't competitors edging into or eating into your market share?
They've been trying for the last 5 years. They've not been able to.
So you've gained market share in the last 5
yes,
years?
Of course.
How much?
Absolutely. So we would have been about 50-52%. We have definitely crossed 60% in the last 5 years. The pressures that I feel is obviously, which is more something that we can't control. The dollar is something that we can't control, and once in a while some bumps like GST which comes in, but then it works out well for us. So
all right,
those are the things. But otherwise,
why can't you control the dollar? 60-70% of your imports are dollar denominated. Why give so much dominance to China? Is that here to stay?
Our dependency on China has come down considerably. There was a time when we used to import close to about 70-75% from China. It's come down quite a bit.
How much is it now?
It's roughly the way we are seeing it is it should be about 50% going forward.
You were the brain behind Skybags, and you decided the whole backpack range and whatever it is your brainchild. So let's talk about that. That contributes about a third to your total revenues.
Yes.
Right? And going forward, what is the opportunity? Will this be the majority contributor to your revenue, say in the next 5 years?
So when I took over, we were mainly a luggage brand, almost a luggage brand. And luggage, as you see, consumers, when does the consumer buy your first luggage? The first luggage consumer buys when the person is around 28, 29, 30 maybe. The consumer, 30 maybe. The consumer is getting into our business at a far later stage of life. That is the time when he's already exposed to multiple brands, multiple multinational brands available. So we had to get the consumers at an early stage. Now, backpack was the very, very important category. It was like, when the moment we started getting backpacks in, we brought down the average consumer age from say 45 down straight to 25.
How big is the backpack market, the organized and the unorganized market?
It's huge. Nobody knows. I think it's bigger than the luggage market.
The organized market?
The organized market currently would be about 750 crores maximum, not even 750, not more than. So we would be more than 50-55%. So I think the organized market would be what, 600 crores now.
Growing at?
It can. I have no idea. Trust me, because we are growing at 50%.
Okay.
Okay, even at that range. Everybody around you has a backpack, right?
Absolutely.
Whether it's a school kid or people who goes in a bike. So the moment we launched backpacks and rucksacks and the casual bags, we brought the average age for our organization, the consumer age of our organization, down from maybe 45 to maybe 25. That helped. Skybag plays a very important role for the consumer to come back to VIP industries when the person gets a luggage. So the way I see Skybag as a brand is I want in this brand the short haul, which we have in our parlance, we have long haul and short haul. long haul is for the long haul travel,
Right.
short haul is for the short haul travel. The short haul should contribute to at least 50%. When I took over, there was no short haul at all.
Okay.
Currently, we have about 40% of Skybag turnover coming out of short haul.
Okay.
We would like that to become at least 60%.
Caprese now, does about 100 crores in revenue. The target was 500 crores for it to get that scale before it lifts off, does 2,000, 3,000 crores, goes to all the dealers, the distribution is tweaked. What is happening in that? What's the growth strategy for this?
We realized over a period of time that the ladies the brand loyalty among
Okay.
women in India are a little low than compared to the male counterparts.
Okay.
For them, what matters is more design, color,
Right.
and therefore, to make them repeat purchase, is difficult.
So what are you
Goes up.
doing to increase that weight?
Yes. So we are working on a strategy which unfortunately I can't tell you right now.
The skeleton of that would be?
Now that I can't tell you, because
Okay.
then I'll given my strategy out. But that's the biggest challenge that we have. How do I ensure that the consumer who walks into a select city mall in Delhi buys Caprese, and the same and a consumer who walks into a Kharagpur or a small town in India and a small retail also buys a Caprese.
Okay.
And therefore that's something that we need to work on. We are working on it, and probably in next maybe 3 to 6 months, because it's work in progress, we would come in with a plan with which then we can start expanding the way we want to
So
expand.
once it starts expanding, it will expand multifold. Can we
It
expect
will
that?
definitely expand multifold.
VIP as a brand, it's not youth focused anymore, nor is it value for money or anything of that sort. It's not the low end brand. How do you manage this brand? How do you tackle this beast?
So when I joined, me and Radhika had a chat, and at that point of time, the whole organization's revenue was based on VIP. Now, if you imagine a building which is standing on one pillar, and the pillar is, we can see the pillar is not doing well. What do? You
Add more pillars.
add more pillars. Perfect. Because if you start touching that pillar, then the pillar, if it falls, then the whole building collapses.
Right.
So what we did, we started adding more pillars. We added pillar 1, Skybags. We added pillar 2, Aristro. We added pillar 3, Carlton. We added pillar 4, Caprese. Now that we've added this pillar, we've started working on this pillar called VIP. We are 60% done.
Okay.
Okay. We are very confident, because see, the biggest problem, like you said, is what does VIP stand for? VIP, it is not that we don't know what the problem is.
What is
It
the problem?
The problem, it was not standing for something.
Okay.
Its problem is its strength.
Okay.
So it needs to be redefined, it needs to be reworked, and we are working on it. And I'm sure that very soon you would see a lot of action on this particular brand.
Okay, so right now it's about what, 650, 700 crores in terms of annual revenues, touches what, 2,000 crores by 2020?
You're pushing me for numbers. As I said, I'm not going to give you the internal numbers, but we are going to resurrect this brand big time, because that's a pride, that's the brand.
Okay, promise me
And
you will
it's
call
been-
me the day you touch 1,000 crores on VIP.
I would definitely will. And I'm going to do exclusive only on the brand. We'll only talk about that brand.
Okay, and that happens sometime next fiscal?
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
I got my headline on VIP.
CNBC TV18 Weekender, only on CNBC TV18.
All right, 3 questions before we move on to the fun part. First one, you spoke about all the other channels. So how many stores do you have right now? How many stores do you plan to reach in the next 2 years?
We have close to about 550 stores
Okay.
between us and franchisee. Next 3 years would definitely like to touch about 1,000 stores.
Bangladesh, very small right now. How large is it likely to be going forward?
It's a testing water that we are doing. We are not very sure, so we really don't know how it will work.
your strategy with regards to innovations in the luggage industry. Do you think VIP will be the thought leader as a company?
I've been seeing videos and luggages are traveling on their own, you can find your luggage, but all along, we tried these about 5 years back, and we realized it goes against the category codes because airlines will not allow.
Okay.
Most of these so-called smart bag companies are now gone bankrupt because most of the airlines have started banning these bags.
Okay.
You have to take the battery out because these work on batteries. Now, if you do that, then the basic purpose of these luggages fail. It is good to make a video, but none of them sell for two reasons. One, the airlines don't allow them. Second, they become prohibitively expensive.
This is where the fun begins. We have a suitcase full of secrets. This is our secret suitcase. There's a very lot of alliterations there. So what I'll do is, I'll just open it, put it up in front of you. There are a lot of chits. You have to pick up, say, 5 of them, one by one, and answer.
First time you got scolded by your bosses here was for what? Believe it or not, till now I've never been scolded here by my boss. If you find a competitor's product in your house, I just throw them out. I just throw them out. Simple. One decision you're proud of, launching backpacks. The VIP in my life, my sons, I think they are the most important people in my life. Next destination for VIP. We would like to see ourselves across the continent and across the globe selling luggage because we are one of the best luggage makers of the world, and I don't see any reason why we should not sell luggage across the globe. Legacy like you like to have. That's something that I actually like. So I firmly believe that numbers will happen. Everybody can do numbers. There would be better leaders than me who would come and do better numbers. But if I can transform this organization to be a great place to work, I think that is something that I would be happy about.
On that note, what I'll do is I'll pack my little suitcase of secrets and go away with a lot of insight. Thanks a lot, Mr. Ghose, for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Show.
Thank you so much.
CNBC TV18 Weekender, only on CNBC TV18.